What were your initial thoughts and feelings when you realized I had a substance abuse problem?
Well, the first thing I thought, is it just a passing phase? Because when you grow up in a small town, you tend to have nothing else to do but go out with your friends and have a few casual drinks. And or is it something deeper? Because on your maternal side, I know that there is some alcohol and drug family issues. So I was just wanted to see what it was with you. And I wasn't sure, but after several rehabilitation attempts, I kind of knew it was more deeper than just a casual.
I think that initially my thoughts were probably denial, which is kind of something that I tend to do. So I think initially I denied it, and then I felt pretty angry.
Fear was my initial response. Not knowing what was going to happen, just being scared of the unknown, you know.
Were there moments when you lost hope, or did you always believe I would recover?
It's like tossing a coin in the air. You don't know what side it's going to land on. You don't give up, at least not in my world. You don't give up, but you have to separate yourself. And tough love, I don't think, is always the answer. I think just being available and to what extent you're available. You don't want to fall down the rabbit hole and fall with the people, but you don't want to be so distant that you can't grab their hand when they really need help. So I just made myself available.
Always believed that you would recover 100%. I never, ever, ever lost hope. I always knew that you had a foundation of faith, that you knew the Lord, and I just knew that this was not going to be how you were going to live. You had so many talents and so smart, probably the smartest one in the family. And there was just no way that you would continue to live this path for.
I would like to say that I never lost hope. Not to say that there wasn't like a kernel of hope. But there were times where I was mentally preparing to go on like a lifelong journey.
What did you do to give your mama hope?
So she was on the streets, so we gave her hope by finding her and getting her life straight.
That's a good answer.
How did you try to support me during that time?
Oh man, I tried everything. It was like just going and grab you by the nape of the neck and pulling you into the car and let's get going. And that really didn't work. So you can't force a person to change as much as you want to, as much as you know it's for their own good. You can't do that. So I really, you just kind of, it's a day by day, one day at a time type of thing. With recovery, I know they say one day at a time. And so with the people trying to help somebody through recovery, I think you have to realize it's one day at a time too.
I don't know that I was super supportive. I wouldn't say that. I think my mom was probably the supporter, and your dad. Like I said, was I just kind of get angry at people who struggle with addiction.
I could have been better. If I could go back in time and do it all over again, I would have been more hands-on. But the way that I did support you was by opening up my home to you, and you stayed in the back house.
Do you ever feel like you had to take on extra responsibilities because of my addiction?
No, I wasn't living with you at the time, and so it's just like I said on the last comment, is that if you are available You have to be available at the drop of a hat. You know, hey, I'm ready. Well, do you mean it this time? You just can't ignore it. Well, you said that 3 times ago, so, you know, screw you. No, you have to like, okay, she's ready. Let's go see. And it's taxing. It takes a lot out of you. But in my case, it was worth it because
I really felt like I had to take on extra responsibilities. I think that I'm a pretty involved aunt either way. So I think that, you know, with Serenity, I felt like, I don't know, I never felt like that was like extra. I think that the part that felt extra was probably the worrying and like sometimes worrying about like mom because of what, you know, mom was, the extra things that mom was doing.
Like a lot of people who are on the streets, it's a sad truth that a lot of those people have had their family give up on them. And, you know, I feel like the Lord would have us take on the extra burden. People will say they're Christians. I feel like when they have addiction in their family, that's their opportunity to suffer for Christ, you know, and for it to be real and not just pray, but pray and follow through with action, you know. So I think that nobody can get clean fundamentally, right? There's always outliers, but I don't feel like anybody could get clean without their family sacrificing and taking on more work. And so, yeah, it was a lot, but looking back in time, I feel like that's the formula.
Did your faith or spirituality play a role in how you coped with my addiction?
well, okay, so some people say just give it to God, and that's an excuse just to step away. Oh, give it to God and not worry about it, you know. But no, you need to work with God. You need to work with that. So it's a partnership. It's not just faith alone. It's faith and action. So I think that the combination of the two really helped me through it.
I mean, I feel like I got to a point, and it's not the first time I've dealt with addiction, so, you know, I did kind of go into it knowing that prayer is just about the only thing I could do. I wish that my emotions were different in it. I wish I wasn't angry. I wish I maybe had more empathy.
Without the Lord, nothing is possible, truly. And I guess in the mundane aspects of life, and yeah, you might not need your faith as much, but especially with addiction, if it wasn't for the Lord, I would have just avoided the situation completely and taken the path of least resistance.
What advice would you give to other family members who are struggling with a loved one's addiction?
It's different person by person. I've had 2 children at the same time that were struggling, and each one of them were living different lives. Some of them were stronger in some ways than others, so you have to know what your child's strengths are and your weaknesses, and you need to see your opportunities and see the threats to that. And that's what they used to call a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And just you have to realize how strong that person is, what they can do, what they're capable of, and allowing them to be that person. But you have to be there 110% when they're ready. It takes commitment, it takes time, and it takes faith. So all the questions you ask, you basically have to put it all together and play it day by day.
Well, I'll give advice like give them hope or pray for them.